Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joel Love, back at again with your AEW Rampage review for last night, February 25th, 2022. Again, a solid, another edition of Rampage. We got Hook again. We got a solid match between Andrade and Sammy Guevara. We got the contract signing between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Some good stuff. Some good stuff on Rampage last night and for the podcast today. But thank you all for joining me. If you're new to the podcast, I'm your host, Joe Chun Love. Click that like. If you like this video, click that subscribe. If you want to see more pro wrestling reviews on the channel, you can find those on the homepage. But thank you. Let's dive into it, shall we? Rampage started off with the TNT Championship match, Andrade El Idolo versus Sammy Guevara. You know, what they always say about MMA, really, and boxing, styles make fights. And, you know, this match was the example of that as it pertains to a good wrestling match. Andrade and Sammy. Sammy has been billed as one of the pillars of AEW. And the more you see him, the more he's coming to his own. And the more I see him, the more I can definitely say that when it comes down to it, and he's still only in his 20s, late 20s, but mid to late 20s, but in a couple years, given his time, I could see him going for the AEW World title down the road. But this match here with Andrade, and go figure, I mean, Sammy won that great match versus Darby Allin, but thanks in part to Andrade's interference. This match here wasn't as good, I don't think, as that match, but still was very good match. But in the middle of the match, Sammy, first of all, he took a suplex onto the rampway and then went for his double springboard cutter, which is always good to see. But it was sent off the top rope, crashing into a barricade by Andrade. After Sammy got back in the ring, went back on offense, he had a twisting tope to the outside. Then they were tied up in the middle of the ropes. Andrade, his beautiful springboard cutter, or springboard DT, I should say, from the inside of the ring to on the apron, which always a fluid thing by Andrade. Then Sammy hit avalanche Spanish fly for near fall. Took a bit to develop, but nonetheless. Finally, Sammy Guevara won here with the springboard, double springboard cutter for the win. Sammy Guevara retains the TNT Championship. Afterwards, the Hardy family office came out or tried to beat down on Sammy, but Darby and Sting interrupted, and it's being known that the Trios Texas Tornado match at Revolution will take place. It'll be Darby, Sting, and Sammy versus Matt Hardy, Andrade, and someone else. Perhaps Isaiah Cassidy. I don't know why, but we've seen him a bunch more recently than Mark Quinn. Just a thought, but the third party to the mix. But either way, it should be an intriguing affair on March 6th. So then, it was going to be Wardlow versus Nick Comrotto, but before we got there, QT Marshall, he came out in his ongoing feud with Hook. He came out, spoke to the commentary table, claiming he's the one that made Hook, not Taz. Even though technically that is false, excuse me, but nonetheless, QT challenged Hook to get out of here and apologize and thank him. And then finally, after QT said he doesn't have the balls to come out there, we hear Hook's music, the lights go out, and then Hook is there on the apron, and QT Marshall sends stooges of the factory to come on the stage and take out Hook. One got a jewel throw, the other got a big lariat and the red rum. And the last stooge backed off, said he doesn't want any of Hook. So, simple as that. And then Hook just walked off. I mean, whether it's next week or Revolution, a Hook versus QT Marshall match I'd be for Hook to see how he fares against. Because, I mean, he's had decent opponents. But he hasn't really fought a skilled veteran, like singles wrestler. And, excuse me, Bear Bronson of Bear Country, he's a tag team wrestler. Fuego del Sol, he's a quality act, but he's not really a big veteran. Marshall is a step up in competition, which you like to see. Obviously, Hook will get the win, but so it'll be good to see. And then we got Man of the Year, Dan Lambert backstage. Again, still complaining about Tony Khan. Lambert did not name Cody Rhodes or Brandy, but Lambert said that Tony Khan offered a Face the Revolution qualifier for Scorpio Sky. You know, and Sky again brought up that he hasn't fought in 350 days, but Ethan Page and Dan Lambert vowed that Sky will get a shot before the winner of the Face the Revolution ladder match. And they will get the TNT Championship. I mean, I like both guys in the ring, and I like both of them aligned with Dan Lambert, but of course, their money is with each other and Dan Lambert. It's not as singles. So, I mean, a Scorpio Sky versus Sammy Guevara match, I would definitely be down for. It's just the aftermath. I'm hesitant about is all, but nonetheless, I'm all for the match. So then we cut to Wardlow versus Nick Camarda. This was short but interesting. About two powerful behemoths. Camarada, well, Wardlow, of course, MJF's heavy, of course, has been getting the slow push in recent months. And qualified for Face the Revolution ladder match here against Nick Comrotto of the Factory, who I have not seen much of, but he's still a cool look, and excuse me, Caveman Comrotto is good look. Think he just needs more time and more development, but this is interesting for how the time it was given. Wardlow looked a bit worrisome, but he hit a belly to belly to Camarada from the inside ring to the outside, and Camarada is no small man, so that was interesting. Camarada, he hit a one arm press slammed Wardlow. Shows you the strength of Camarada, but Wardlow fired back with the Powerbomb Symphony. Almost dropped him on the last one, but still got it. And Wardlow gets impressive short victory over Nick Camarada. Afterwards, Aaron Solo, who was at ringside for Camarada, he was caught by Wardlow, who went for a powerbomb, but Spears hit a chair shot to the back of Solo, when he was in powerbomb position for Wardlow, and it looked like he may have grazed his hands and whiplash effect on Wardlow's head. So Wardlow was not happy about it. So Spears apologized, said this powerbomb symphony is not getting over. No more powerbombs. And he said that he and Max says they're proud of him and he has so much potential. So he went in for a hug, but the cut-in on Wardlow's face was just hilarious. Being not happy about this, and there was that Sean Spears in this role is hilarious. Just hilarious. So then we got Serena Deeb, the 5-minute rookie challenge. Here against Kayla Sparks. Funny thing about Kayla Sparks is now they said she was a veteran of over 15 years experience. And they showed a clip, or AEW didn't show it, but there was a clip of her on SmackDown being double pecked on the cheek by Los Lotharios, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo, which Garza is great. Carrillo still needs some work, but they're a good tag team. But that was interesting how now we know Rampage is mostly taped, but that was a funny dynamic, her being on SmackDown and Rampage. So very simple, 2 minutes, almost 2.5 minutes. Serenity blocks in the Serenity lock for the win. There's that. I mean, another thing to mention about these 5-minute rookie challenges, per se, they're getting a bit longer. That's what you like to see. You don't want to see, like how we sometimes see on WWE, where you have these very short women's matches. Now, credit Day Dispatch of the Bunny and Serena Deeb Dispatch Miss Swartz very quick fashion, but as these 5-minute rookie challenges get longer, we may see a returning Hikaru Shida or one of these eventual new signings for the women's division to come in and maybe not beat. Well, goes hand in hand, because if you win or last 5 minutes, you win the rookie challenge. So I'm not sure. Maybe better for the person to win or last 5 minutes. I don't know. That's just a thought, but this is building up to something. So then we got the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker contract signing. So Britt Baker. So Thunder Rosa, she quickly took the microphone, signed the contract, and she said that to Britt Baker, let's give the people what they want. A new champion, not you cheating Pella. Or something she said. But so Britt Baker said, you couldn't just leave my name out of your mouth, because it's the only way you're relevant is when a sentence between us is spoken about. She of course sprung up their lights out match, and she said, well, you won, but The person they were talking about was Britt Baker and her rise since then, and talked about when she was the first person signed or first woman signed to AEW. Thunder Rosa was still wrestling on YouTube, begging for a contract. So finally, she said she'll never be Dr. Britt Baker DMD. And Rosa just launched over the contract signing table, and the brawl escalated between Team DMD and Thunder Rosa. But then eventually Mercedes Martinez came out, and Thunder Rosa was one-on-one with Jamie Hayter, and Mercedes Martinez, his spine buster to Jamie Hayter through the table. So we're, of course, going to be getting Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, but we may also see a Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Martinez match in the future, which should be a heck of a match between the two ladies, and should be interesting. Main event time. So, little notes, next week on Dynamite, we got the Casino Battle Royal. We got the Trios match between the Dark Order and Hangman versus Red Dragon and Al Cole. So some good stuff to look forward to next week. And Tony Khan reportedly will have a big announcement. So something to keep an eye on. So main event. Orange Cassidy versus Andy Bowens. Face the Revolution. Ladder match qualifier. Looking to be who will be the fifth man in that Face the Revolution ladder match, which is looking great. The lineup for that is fantastic. So, not one of Max Kessler's best raps, I will say. And then Orange Cassidy took the microphone with his devastating super kicks. And then finally, after he took out Bowens and Kessler, he said, "Word to your mother." So that was a hilarious dig by Orange Cassidy, who did barely anything or said barely anything, but still did better. So the match was okay, going back and forth. Bowens, great athlete. He is exchange where he chops and hits a big super kick for separation. Came off the ropes. Orange Cassidy hit a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Cassidy was on the apron, hit a springboard senton on both the Acclaim. Will Yuto was in the corner of OC, so he did his due diligence on Max Kessler. He had a diving DT, then a springboard tilt-a-whirl DT on Bowens for a near fall. Bowens landed a roll-up for a near fall, and a big lariat, followed by a T-bone suplex for a near fall. Danhausen was out there posing as a crew member. Curse Max Kessler, who got caught in the orange punch, and then finally Orange Cassidy in the ring hit the orange punch on Bowens For the win, Orange Cassidy advances to the Face of Revolution ladder match. And the field in that ladder match is going to be interesting. We shall see who will be the final participant in that ladder match. I mean, Keith Lee, Hobbs, Starks, Wardlow, and now we'll see. That's just going to be hell of a field. But yeah, we'll see. But nonetheless, that's the review and episode for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this Rampage review. But of course, if you did, click that like button. Help out the channel as well. But yeah, I'll be back next Thursday. Yes, hopefully no issues next week. But yeah, I'll be back next Thursday with my Dynamite, and next Saturday with Rampage, the final stops before Revolution. And then for Revolution, I'm thinking perhaps Tuesday, either the day after or, we'll see. But should be interesting either way, either the 7th or the 8th. I'll have my Revolution review, but nonetheless, that is all for you folks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I did as well. I am Joe True in Love. Thank you all. Be safe. Peace.